Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Raleigh shooting. Police are investigating after someone was sent to the hospital. What we know so far from investigators on the search for the person responsible.
Beautiful shot here. A live look at North Hills. It's gorgeous blue sky. We still have some patchy fog in a few places, but that's not likely to last long. I'll show you when our temperatures really start to climb.
And remembering Erica Lucas. People in Wake Forest are gathering today to honor a former principal after she was killed in a shooting. The plans to celebrate her life and support her husband at a football game. Thanks so much for joining us here this morning on WRAL News and Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood. So I want to show you two things. One, you see all the fog here behind me at Southern Pines. That's what it looks like in some places. But behind Elizabeth Gardner, it's a lot clearer now. We're seeing some sunshine.
We're definitely seeing a good bit of sunshine finally breaking out around the triangle. But we do have pockets of fog, as Chris said, especially down in the Sandhills and up near the Virginia line. But it's a pretty view here in North Hills where it is 62 degrees and the dew point is 62. We had some lingering moisture from all the cloud cover that we've seen the last couple of days, all that moisture lingering. So some fog developed in spots, but already we're beginning to see that fog dissipating. So a quarter-mile visibility in Southern Pines, a quarter to a tenth of a mile up around Roxborough and South Hill, but definitely seeing some improving visibility around the triangle. This shows where we continue to have some low cloud cover and fog. I'm going to change up the view and we'll take another look at that coming up, but you could definitely see western part of the viewing area. Our cloud cover dissipates pretty quickly. By lunchtime, we're only looking at about a 20 to 40% coverage of the sky. However, this afternoon, it could be, higher, more that 40% coverage of the sky. And at that point, there could be a sprinkle or two. I don't think we'd see any measurable rain, but don't be surprised if it sprinkles on you just briefly. Our highs will be in the low 80s. We'll talk about how much warmer it could be for part of the weekend coming up.
All right, checking the morning commute here in the 8 o'clock hour. We have a handful of incidents dotting our live traffic map this morning, but none is really causing any problems for your morning commute. We are seeing a little bit of congestion on that southern loop of the Beltline starting around Lake Wheeler Road. We were seeing a little bit of a backup there on I-87, those southbound lanes right near New Hope Road, just before the I-440 interchange, but that's beginning to dissipate. We are seeing some congestion building on I-885, those northbound lanes going into Durham, starting at around TW Alexander Drive. So let's stay in Durham, give you a live look at I-40 and Fayetteville Road. Those folks coming into Durham and even Raleigh, probably dealing with a little bit of sun glare, but you can see traffic flowing nicely in all directions. That southern loop of the Beltline I just mentioned is what we're looking at. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us. You see, traffic is still moving, but it's a situation where this is the morning congestion that you will probably run into about a 3 to 5 minute delay. As always, traffic is constantly changing. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
A woman is dead and a man is in critical condition because of a shooting in Fayetteville. This happened just before 11 o'clock last night at Caledonia Circle. Officers who responded found 2 people who were shot and the woman died from her injuries at the hospital. But the victims' names have not been released, not just yet. Police are working to track down any suspects in this story. Also breaking overnight, Raleigh police are investigating a shooting. A person was sent to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Let's go ahead and bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's the breaking news tracker on Pettis Place near Rock Quarry Road. Kelsey, police have been out there for what, like 6, 7 hours now?
Yes, Chris, 6 hours now. You can see here that Raleigh police have been focusing their investigation on this home that is on Pettis Place. This is right near the Raleigh National Cemetery. We've seen investigators asking different neighbors questions about what happened as they're trying to piece together what happened here overnight. Forensics also just arrived here within the last 30 minutes. But we'll show you some video now from earlier this morning where you can see evidence markers that police have placed all in front of the house that we just told you about. The WRAL breaking news tracker arrived here just 30 minutes after police received a call around 2 o'clock this morning. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a man who had multiple gunshot wounds. That man was taken to the hospital with what appeared to be life-threatening injuries. So we'll be sure to keep you updated as we get more information from police about the search for the shooter as well as the man's condition. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
We're trying to learn new information about 2 different law enforcement presences overnight. In Moore County, a chase ended in a crash. And what you're seeing is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker on US 1 near Midland Road in Southern Pines. We're trying to confirm information about the driver and any potential charges. And then there's this second one in Raleigh. We were there as a damaged car was lifted onto a tow truck. This was on Cowan Lane near Rock Quarry Road. We have reached out to the Wake County Sheriff's Office to find out about that car and who was driving it. Today, a community in mourning. Wake Forest High School families will honor the football coach's late wife at a game tonight. Former Roseville principal Erica Lucas died this week after being injured in a shooting. Let's go and bring in WRAL's Sean Gallagher. He's at Wakefield High School, and that is where her husband's football team is playing tonight. Sean, they likely will see a show of support at that game.
Yeah, it'll be a sea of blue in the crowd as the families are all gathering together to try to coordinate this effort to show support for Coach Lucas during this tragic time after his wife died earlier this week. Now, this all came together after hundreds of people liked to post on Instagram about the coordination of wearing blue, supporting him during this time. Erica Lucas died Tuesday after being caught in the middle of gunfire in Wake Forest about 2 weeks ago. Investigators say she was not the intended target of that shooting. Lucas was the former Roseville principal, a career educator, and passionate about impacting the youth and lifting up her community. It's qualities like that that her former colleagues say will be greatly missed.
She made them feel important. She made them feel seen. She made them feel as if someone cared. If there was no one else, I'm going to be the person that always cares about you. And so I think that's why we are seeing such an outpouring of love and of expression and of just heartfelt gratitude for the life that she lived, not just as a person, but as a great educator.
Now, 2 people are charged in the shooting, 18-year-old Dexter Mills and his 16-year-old cousin. Mills is facing a first-degree murder charge. Now, tonight, Wake Forest will look to get its first win of the season, which couldn't come at a better time. And on top of all the support that they will have here physically, the school's athletic booster club is trying to help the family financially, starting a donation fund just today. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
College students in the Triangle are mourning the death of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. He was shot and killed while speaking at a crowd at Utah Valley University this week. It was a full house at the Tally Student Union for a vigil last night. Even more students were in the hallway. The event was organized by the NC State chapter of Turning Point USA, the conservative organization Kirk co-founded. We were not inside the vigil, but we did speak with people before and after who were a bit stunned about what happened.
He actually showed up to my undergraduate school a couple months ago, and I went and saw him, and it was really scary thinking like something like that could have happened while I was there listening to him.
The event had enhanced security, and it did remain peaceful. A developing story this morning. The FBI and police in Utah are calling on the public's help to identify the person suspected of killing Charlie Kirk. New video released overnight shows a person dropping from the roof of a building after the shooting, and police say that he left palm smudges on the building that might contain DNA. He was also seen running through a parking lot into nearby woods, and that's where police found a gun. The governor of Utah says the FBI has received thousands of tips, and nearly 24 agencies are investigating.
We have 20 federal, state, and local law enforcement partners that are working shoulder to shoulder to find the person who committed this horrific crime. With their support, we've completed nearly 200 interviews.
Officials say the person was wearing tennis shoes, a black T-shirt with an American flag and eagle, and a baseball cap with a triangle on it. There is a $100,000 reward for information. And in just a few minutes, several instances popping up across the country of people losing their jobs because they were posting about the death of Charlie Kirk, including here in North Carolina. Time right now is 8:08. It was a tough start for the NC State Wolfpack against Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons took last night's opening kickoff 98 yards for a touchdown. NC State had some big plays as well, like this interception that you're seeing right here. Returned for a touchdown in the first quarter. The Wolfpack was behind at halftime, but they came back with 17 unanswered points. NC State got the win 34-24, and they are now 3-0 on the season. Now looking ahead, Bill Belichick and UNC will be back home at Kenan Memorial Stadium tomorrow. The Tar Heels are 1-1 and 1-1 on the season after a win last week against Charlotte. They'll play Richmond tomorrow with kickoff set for 3:30 p.m. Then you got Duke headed down to Louisiana to take on Tulane. They are looking to pick up their second win of the season. That game kicks off tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Tonight is the final night of candidate forums for Durham City Council for the upcoming primary election. People will get the chance to hear from the people running for seats in the 2nd and 3rd wards. The forum will be at the Phoenix Event Center on Fayetteville Street, and that is from 6 to 8 p.m. Early voting for the primary starts a week from today. watching what you post. Several people have been fired, I should say, after making posts about Charlie Kirk's death. The warning from an attorney about the consequences people are facing. And storm recovery. The governor and the president have agreed to millions of dollars of funding. Where that money's going to help clean up in the state.
And check out the view here of downtown Raleigh from our Jimmy V camera. Lots and lots of sunshine. I'll let you know if that sunshine sticks around all the way through the weekend coming up. .13, and we are starting to see the clouds lifting a little bit here in Sanford. Give that about another hour to hour and a half, and we should see a good bit more sunshine breaking through. We do still have some of the low cloud cover showing up in the western part of the viewing area, west of the triangle. You can just see some of that there back to the west. It's still up near the Virginia line, anywhere from a 1/10 to a 1/4 of a mile visibility, but beginning to improve there in Southern Pines back to 3/4 of a mile visibility. So slowly but surely, we're going to see more and more sunshine. Temperatures are in the low to mid 60s as you're heading out the door this morning. That's comfortable for a run. And this afternoon, it warms up nicely into the low 80s. We could see some increasing clouds in the afternoon, especially in our eastern counties where there could be a few sprinkles, but I wouldn't expect any measurable rain, Ken.
Well, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're starting the southern loop of the Beltline. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us. There was a real backup there just a little while ago, and it was the usual morning congestion that we see on that southern loop of the Beltline. But right now, you can see things are definitely moving along rather nicely. Right now, the only troubled spot mainly is coming in from Wake Forest. You're looking at a 5-minute delay, just a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale this morning, so which is really good news. Over in Durham, the real troubled spot is Highway 98. At about 7 minutes to your commute this morning, so you might want to give yourself some extra time. Getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
After the death of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, people around the country have lost their jobs after posting controversial comments on social media. Now, the latest example is the cancellation of a comic series. DC Comics canceled the just-released Red Hood series after its author made inflammatory comments, including one that allegedly said, quote, "Hope the bullet's okay," end quote. A spokesperson for DC Comics says the comments were inconsistent with the company's standard of conduct. And then a Carolina Panthers employee was fired, and that's because of an alleged post on their Instagram story. This was a photo of Kirk with the caption, quote, "Why are y'all sad? Your man said it was worth it," end quote. The Panthers later issued a statement saying the organization does not condone violence of any kind. WRAL spoke with an employment attorney about the best practices for posting online.
Be very conscious of what you're putting on your social media. Be aware that your employer is likely watching. And, the best course of action is to, remain private. And when I say remain private, I mean, don't post things publicly on the internet that might, upset your employment.
She says there are exceptions, though, when employees do have grounds to sue for wrongful termination. And just a reminder, North Carolina operates under employment at will. That means unless there's an ordinance or a contract stating otherwise, an employer can fire you for any reason or no reason at all. The trial for the man accused of attempting to assassinate President Donald Trump is now underway, but the first day got off to a bit of a rocky start. The suspect, Ryan Ruth, is defending himself. The judge ultimately had to cut his opening arguments short after he veered off topic. The judge warned him to stay on topic and even had to remove the jury twice to speak privately with him. Ruth has pleaded not guilty to federal charges, and he faces a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted. President Donald Trump was at the New York Yankees game last night as the team commemorated 9/11, and the ceremony was held before the game. The president also attended a 9/11 ceremony at the Pentagon yesterday morning. Several people were injured after a school bus rolled over in Pennsylvania. This happened in Columbia County. 31 people were aboard. It's unclear, though, how many were hurt specifically and how many were children, and there's no word just yet on what even caused that crash. Back here at home, $32 million is on the way for North Carolina storm relief. President Donald Trump says he is giving the money to support recovery after flooding from Helene and Chantal. Governor Josh Stein says that he will make sure it is an all-hands-on-deck approach to help rebuild. He also says he will work with the administration to deliver resources to North Carolina. In fact, one of the hardest hit places during Helene has a new path forward. The town of Lake Lure says it hopes to reopen the lake next spring. Now, no one has been allowed in the lake since the storm, and that's because there was so much debris in and on the water. The Army Corps of Engineers is still clearing all that's left behind there, and they hope to finish by the end of next month. The town would start refilling the lake in March, and the plan is to welcome people back May 1st. As one As one place prepares to take a step forward, we are getting ready to look back. We are sharing stories of survival, heartbreak, and hope in the mountains. It's all part of our new WRAL documentary, Helene, What We Lost, What We Found. That airs Thursday, September 25th at 7:30 on WRAL and wherever you stream WRAL.
And breaking news, just minutes ago, President Trump has announced that authorities have apprehended the suspected shooter in Charlie Kirk's assassination. He appeared on Fox and Friends in a live interview. He said, quote, with a high degree of certainty that authorities have apprehended the shooting suspect. Now, we do know state and federal officials will be holding a news conference at 9 o'clock this morning so that we can learn more. And again, President Trump announcing the suspect in Charlie Kirk's killing is in custody.
Significant update after that. Hops for Hope and fun events for film lovers. It's time to take a look at WRAL Out and About's Weekend Best Bets. Craft beer for a good cause in Raleigh tomorrow afternoon. The 10th annual Hops for Hope is happening at North Hills Midtown Park. The proceeds will raise money for children to take flights for life-saving medical care. And that event will include live music and food trucks. The event runs from 2 to 6 and tickets are available online. The world of Hans Zimmer is heading to the Triangle tonight. The show at the Lenovo Center will include pieces from the Oscar-winning composer, curated by Hans Zimmer himself. That concert starts at 8 p.m. and tickets are available online. Then you have the Cary Film Festival. It's underway. The 4-day festival includes short films and screenplays from all across the globe. The annual event is held at the historic Cary Theater, and the festival runs through Sunday. For more weekend fun, you can visit WRAL.com and search Out and About. Week 4 of high school football kicks off tonight. Be sure to tune in to Football Friday tonight at 11:15. Remember, we have that new time. Our Bojangles Football Friday game of the week is from the Function at the Junction, Tarboro at Southwest Edgecombe. Plus, highlights from more games from around our area. And don't miss all the hard-hitting high school football action. That's happening tonight on WRAL. Weather-wise, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty okay for them to be out there, Elizabeth, though it's a good thing they don't have to deal with all the foggy conditions we had this morning, right?
Yeah, we still have some of that in our western and northern counties, but so much improvement happening as well. We take a live look here downtown Raleigh from our Jimmy V camera, looking down Fayetteville Street, looking at such pretty sunshine there, and temperatures are feeling nice and comfortable. We had some lingering moisture left over from all the cloud cover that we saw yesterday and the day before. And so last night, as our temperatures started to drop, that created the condensation with the low cloud cover and fog. What happens next is a high pressure system begins to move in. That's going to help to suppress all that moisture, push it off the coast where you can see it here. The green shaded area is where we have what we call available moisture, and we have no available moisture. Well, not much anyway. There could still be just enough lingering moisture for a quick sprinkle in some of our eastern counties later on this afternoon. But generally, I feel like the bulk of us will end up staying dry. Temperatures for Football Friday likely to be in the low 80s at game time and then dropping into the 70s. Pretty also for UNC's home game against Richmond. It'll be at 3:30 tomorrow. Still looking beautiful, lovely, mostly sunny to partly cloudy, and great weekend for getting outside. Our next weather maker very kindly holds off until next week. We do need some rain. Parts of eastern North Carolina haven't seen any significant rain in the last 3 weeks, so we're starting to see abnormally dry conditions. This low is likely to spread moisture in across our area. Some of the heavier totals would be closer to the coast, but I feel like we'll have some significant rainfall. I think, of course, this is for the next 7 days, so when we get to add Wednesday and Thursday onto this, we'll potentially end up with some higher looking totals. We're watching a wave coming off the coast of Africa. We've also had fairly quiet conditions out here in the tropics, but that's beginning to change again. Yesterday, this had a 30% chance of developing. Today, it has a 40% chance, and you can sort of follow where it might go. This is a look at probability of becoming a tropical depression. And again, it's about a 40% chance as it moves across parts of the Atlantic. So it's way off to the east. We'll continue to watch it. Saturday, 80, 84 on Sunday, and then temperatures will cool off a bit as we get into a better chance for rain the middle of next week. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We have a number of incidents dotting our live traffic map this morning, but there are a couple I want to bring your attention to, including this one that just cleared right near the I-40, I-440 interchange there around Jones Franklin Road, but you can still see some lingering delays there on those I-40 westbound lanes in that Cary area. This one, though, hasn't cleared. This is in southeast Raleigh near the I-40, I-440 interchange. Right now, we're not seeing any delays in that particular area, but just watch for some police activity. Let's go outside and give you a look at the northern loop of the Beltline. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us. Boy, things are flowing nicely in all directions. Those westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So you're getting ready to head out. The Beltline is part of your morning commute. Delay-free right now. Really, the only troubled spot, if we want to call it a troubled spot, really is for our friends coming in from Wake Forest on Capitol Boulevard, US 1, if you will, just a 3-minute delay. And over in Nightdale, you're just looking at a 1-minute delay. So really, truly, for the most part, all morning long, our major routes have been relatively delay-free. Over in Durham, the troubled spot will be Highway 98. So if you're coming in from Highway 98, probably want to give yourself some extra time this morning. You're looking at an 8-minute delay. 15501, just about a 3-minute delay. But elsewhere, all delay-free at this hour. As always, you're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Time is 8:23. What's next for Microsoft? The company has bought a piece of land in Person County, but we're trying to find out about plans for that area and growing memorials. Lawmakers and people in Charlotte are mourning after the stabbing death of a woman on a train last month. How people are remembering Irina Zaruzka. We're also following that breaking update from President Donald Trump himself, saying that the person suspected of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk has been captured.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Time is 8:26. I'm Chris Lovingood. We'll get you started with your weather forecast with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner.
We still have some lingering cloud cover here in Durham. This was really socked in earlier, so beginning to see some improvement. We still have some fog in our western counties, also up near the Virginia line and in the Sandhills. Our temperatures, for the most part, are in the low to mid 60s as you're heading out the door. It's not bad walking the dog this morning, but we're seeing widely variable conditions from a lot of sunshine to some low clouds and fog. 82 for the high. A dog walk this evening. Temperatures will be in the mid 70s.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, taking a spin around the Beltline, starting with the southern loop of the Beltline. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us and actually flowing nicely in those western directions. And similarly, on the northern loop of the Beltline, traffic is moving along rather smoothly in both directions. As far as other major routes coming into the capital city, really and truly, it's Wake Forest. Just a 4-minute delay. That's really the troubled spot, if you want to call 4-minute delay a troubled spot. Not really, but we'll let you know so you plan ahead and plan accordingly. Over in Durham, though, Highway 98 really begins to jam up around 9-minute delay. We'll have an update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
A man is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after a shooting in Raleigh. It happened just after 2 a.m. on Pettis Place near Rock Quarry Road. Police say they found a man with multiple gunshot wounds when they arrived, but no arrests have been made so far. And over in Moore County, a chase ended in a crash. You're seeing video from the WRAL breaking news tracker on US 1 near Midland Road. That's in Southern Pines. We're trying to confirm information about the driver and any potential charges. Next on Fox 50, President Trump says the suspect in Charlie Kirk's assassination is in custody. And coming up on Today, celebrating the Harlem Globetrotters' 100th anniversary.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And breaking news just minutes ago, President Trump announced that the suspect in the Charlie Kirk killing is in custody. What else he had to say about that and when we'll learn more information.
Raleigh shooting investigation. A man is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries, where the search for the shooter stands this morning.
And we started off with some low cloud cover and fog in places. You can still see some of that lingering in Durham. I'll show you where else you'll see it and who's seeing the sunshine already.
And supporting the Lucas family. Tonight is Wake Forest High's first game since the death of their coach's wife. How fans plan to honor her in the stands. A lot of stories that we're getting to this morning as you're waking up on this Friday on WRAL News. I am Chris Lovingood, and things look much different outside. Right here behind us there, the azalea garden's looking very pretty. The same is true above the North Hills there, but there's still some fog lingering in some places there, Elizabeth.
Yeah, we saw the low cloud cover there in Durham. We're still seeing that in our northern counties and all the way down into the Sandhills, but looking beautiful here in downtown Raleigh. We take a look at North Hills, and you can see that blue sky. 62 is our temperature, and our dew point is also at 62. So there's a little bit of moisture left. left. Down here in the Sandhills, look at that. Already beginning to see some improvement. Southern Pines now up to 5-mile visibility. So up around Roxborough and South Hill, seeing some lower visibility. And still in our western counties, we have some low clouds that are lingering. Here's a look at our cloud cover forecast as we get through the day. Definitely most of the cloud cover comes first half of the day, anywhere from 50 to 70% of the sky covered. But by lunchtime, it's about 25 to 40%. Notice it goes up a little bit there in the afternoon. We may have some bands of clouds that roll through that produce a few isolated sprinkles, but I wouldn't expect any measurable rain. It'll be warm this afternoon with highs in the low 80s. We'll talk about our warm looking weekend coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, if you're getting ready to head out the door, you can see a number of crashes dotting a live traffic map this morning, but there are two that I want to really focus on this morning. This one is I-540, the westbound lane near Leesville Road. You can see the congestion stretching all the way back to Six Forks Road. So, if I-540 is your morning commute, you might just want to use the Beltline as an alternate route. This one is on southeast Raleigh near the I-40, I-440 interchange. Just happened in the last 20 minutes. We're not seeing any delays in that area, but be mindful of some police activity. And if you can, move over one lane just to be on the safe side. I-40 Lake Wheeler Road, this still picture was taken just in the last few seconds or so, but really traffic is flowing nicely in all directions there in that southern loop of the Beltline. Similarly, that northern loop of the Beltline is flowing nicely as well. So if you want to avoid I-540 this morning, the Beltline might be your best bet. In terms of delay times coming into Raleigh, you're looking at a 3-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest and just a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
And breaking news within the last 15 minutes. According to President Trump, the suspect in Charlie Kirk's assassination is in custody. The president made that announcement when he appeared on Fox and Friends in a live interview. Here's what he had to say.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job.
The president also went on to explain how investigators found the suspect. He said it was with the help of a minister, a member of the U.S. Marshal Service, and help from the suspect's father. We've learned that the FBI and Utah state officials will hold a news conference at 9 a.m., 30 minutes from now, to discuss this. The FBI and police in Utah, of course, have called on the public to identify the suspected shooter. They released images of the accused shooter as well as video of the person who was on the rooftop after firing that shot. And they've been offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the identification and arrest of this. Now, when President Trump appeared on Fox and Friends, he did not identify the accused shooter. That's something we're hoping to learn when authorities hold their news conference in less than 30 minutes. And we'll be sure to monitor that and let you know what new information comes out of that news conference.
And I suspect we will learn a lot. Thank you, Renee. Breaking news, a woman is dead and a man is in critical condition because of a shooting in Fayetteville. That happened just before 11 o'clock last night on Caledonia Circle. Officers who responded found 2 people who were shot, and the woman died from her injuries at the hospital. But the victims' names, they have not been released, not just yet. Police are working to track down any suspects in this case. Right now, Raleigh police are investigating a shooting at a home. We know one man was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Kelsey Coffey is in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker on Pettis Place this morning, where officers have spent more than 6 hours gathering information.
This has been an active scene for more than 5 hours now. Raleigh police seem to be focusing their investigation at this home here on Pettis Place. This is just across the street from the Raleigh National Cemetery, and you can even see their officers talking to neighbors, further investigating, asking them questions so they can piece together what happened here overnight. But check out this video. You can see how police placed several evidence markers in front of the house. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker arrived here just 30 minutes after police received a call around 2 this morning. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a man who had been shot multiple times. That man was taken to the hospital with what appear to be life-threatening injuries. Right now, we're asking police for an update on the search for the shooter, as well as that man's condition. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
We're trying to learn new information about 2 different law enforcement presences overnight. The first one is in Moore County. That's where a crash was the result of a chase. What you're seeing is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker on US 1 near Midland Road. That's in Southern Pines, if you know that area. We're trying to confirm information about the driver and any possible charges in this case. Then you have this second one, right? Police were at this scene in Raleigh. And this video is from Callan Lane near Rock Quarry Road. It shows a damaged car being lifted onto the tow truck. We have reached out to the Wake County Sheriff's Office to find out more about this car, who was driving it, and what charges will be faced in this. Some college students in the Triangle are mourning the death of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. Kirk was shot and killed while speaking to a crowd at Utah Valley University this week. It was a full house at the Tally Student Union for a vigil last night. Even more students were in the hallway. The event was organized by the NC State chapter of Turning Point USA. That's that conservative organization Kirk co-founded. And we were not inside the vigil, but we did speak with people before and after to talk about his death. The event had enhanced security and it did remain peaceful. As investigators are working to determine a motive, the White House and Congress are considering increasing security for lawmakers. President Trump said yesterday he is not concerned about his safety, but he is, quote, really concerned for our country. Several members of Congress say they are worried about their safety at individual events.
I've talked to my wife, and she really wants me to start wearing a bulletproof vest.
I like being accessible, but being accessible is starting to look like being vulnerable.
And House Speaker Mike Johnson says Congress is in the process of reviewing what measures of security for lawmakers are appropriate and what resources they would even need to allocate for that. And coming up in less than 15 minutes, we're going to have more on Charlie Kirk's suspected shooter in custody, and we'll hear more from a man who says that he was misidentified as the suspect himself. Today, a community in mourning. Wake Forest High School families will honor the football coach's late wife at tonight's game. Former Roseville principal Erica Lucas died this week after being injured in a shooting. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is at Wakefield High School, and that's where her husband's football team is playing tonight. Sean, they are likely going to get a lot of support at tonight's game.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. We should expect a sea of blue in the stands as fans have coordinated together to wear that color in support of Coach Reggie Lucas after the tragedy he's experienced this week, losing his wife. Now, this all started with an Instagram post that has hundreds of likes online, encouraging people to wear blue for Coach Lucas to support him during the unimaginable. Erica Lucas died Tuesday after being caught in the middle of gunfire in Wake Forest about 2 weeks ago. Investigators say she was not the intended target of that shooting, and Lucas was a career educator, spending several years as Roseville High School's principal, and she was passionate about impacting the youth and lifting up her community. It's qualities like that her former colleagues say will be greatly missed.
She really strived to pass that energy and effort on to every single student that she met. She never let a student leave her presence without understanding that they had the capability of doing anything that they wanted or dreamed to do. And I think that's what really I find remarkable about Erica and about her career, and I think what made her an outstanding educator and an outstanding person.
Two cousins are charged in the shooting. 18-year-old Dexter Mills and his 16-year-old cousin. Mills will face a first-degree murder charge. Now, tonight, Wake Forest will look to get its first win of the season and couldn't come at a better time. And the stands here should be packed with Wake Forest High School fans, again, all wearing blue. And on top of this, being here physically, they're looking to support Coach Lucas financially, creating a donation fund to help support them during this time. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
A memorial is growing at the light rail station in Charlotte, where Irina Zaruska was fatally stabbed last month. She had just gotten on the light rail train minutes before DeCarlos Brown stabbed her multiple times with a pocket knife, and he's now facing state and federal charges. The Zaruska family's attorney says that Irina had recently texted her boyfriend that she was on her way home from her job at a pizza restaurant, but she never made it.
She was a daughter. She's a sister. She has a little brother. She has a little sister. She loved animals. She was here trying to live the American dream.
Yesterday, the top leaders in the state legislature announced they plan to file a bill later this month addressing the killing, and they're considering stricter rules for bail. This would make it easier to commit people to mental hospitals and push for more executions. This morning, former NCAA basketball players are under investigation for possible sports betting violations. Some of the allegations involve betting on or against their own team and manipulating game outcomes. 13 former players from 6 universities are being investigated, but we aren't sure how many NCAA players are involved. That's what we're digging into. In a statement, the NCAA's president says it, quote, monitors 22,000 contests every year and will continue to aggressively pursue competition integrity risks such as these. Questions about what's next for Microsoft are popping up in Person County. Last October, the company bought 1,400 acres of land along Country Club Road, and many believe it's on the path to becoming home to the state's next data center and calling it Microsoft Megapark. We asked Person County Commissioner Chairman Kyle Puryear about the future for that section of land.
I recognize people are curious as to what is going out there. I'm curious as well, but at this point, we're kind of at a wait-and-see approach.
We have reached out to Microsoft. We have asked them, what are they planning to do with the megapark? Are there plans and discussions about a data center? And if so, what would that center look like and consist of? But we haven't heard back just yet. Your time is 8:41. Breaking news, we are giving you a live look from the White House as President Donald Trump says Charlie Kirk's accused killer is in custody. We'll have an update from the Live Center in just a bit. Plus, questionable posts. People nationwide are facing consequences for insensitive posts about Charlie Kirk's death. The firings and other fallout from their social media activity. And you know what? It's a bit cloudier and cooler than we've seen this week as we're giving you a live look at Clinton this morning. Just ahead, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will show us if this nice fall weather will continue into the weekend.
.45, it is beautiful out here at Carolina Beach, isn't it? Just a little bit of cloud cover, and the ocean looks fairly rough. So if you're headed there over the weekend, just keep that in mind. Right now, we don't have a rip current danger, but that could change over the next day or two. Looking beautiful for tomorrow up and down the coast, partly cloudy skies. Riceville at 81 for tomorrow, Ocracoke at 78, and Sunday, same story. Nags Head 76, Topsail Island around 83. If you're headed to the mountains, we haven't quite started to see the leaves changing just yet, not in full force, but give it another few weeks late in the month of September and some of the highest elevations, and then early October. Looking beautiful in Boone, though. Lots of sunshine there right now. It's a live look in Boone. Tomorrow, 74. Bryson City likely to be at 84. And on Sunday, partly cloudy skies, 84 in Asheville and 68 up at Grandfather Mountain. We should have a nice weekend here as well, talking about when we'll see our next chances for rain, though, coming up, Ken.
Oh, that was forecast. A weekend getaway to the mountains or the beach might be in order. So listen, we're hearing about a crash on I-540 in the westbound lanes near Leesville Road, and this is the camera at I-540 and Leesville Road. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us. Clearly, it's not affecting traffic in any way, but just be mindful of some police activity if I-540 westbound part of your morning commute. Really, truly, the only trouble spot we have right now are friends in Wake Forest. You're looking at a 3-minute delay coming into town.
And here in the Live Center, we continue to follow that big breaking development that President Trump announced on Fox and Friends this morning, that with a high degree of certainty, authorities have the accused shooter of Charlie Kirk's assassination in custody. And he revealed that huge development when he appeared live on Fox and Friends at 8 o'clock this morning. He did not identify the suspect's name, but he did explain how investigators found the suspect. The president says that was with the help from a minister, a member of the U.S. Marshals Service, and with help from the suspect's father. The president also went on to say he hopes the suspect gets the death penalty. Now, the arrest comes after the FBI released images of a man dressed in black that they called a person of interest. FBI and authorities in Utah will be holding a news conference in 15 minutes. We will be monitoring that in the Live Center and let you know what comes out of that.
We're watching that very closely. Thank you, Renee. A Canadian man says he's had to delete his social media accounts after he was misidentified as the suspect in the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Michael Mallison is saying that he was actually at the time of the shooting running errands with his wife. His daughter then told him that his name and his photo was circulating online as a possible suspect. Well, he says the photo was posted by a fake account and he and his family started getting hateful messages. That led to them fearing for their safety, and they say they had to call the cops.
Shock and horror. I've heard horrible things about people having their identity stolen. I'm just a quiet, normal guy, ordinary guy. I have no need for any publicity, thank you very much.
Police did detain 2 people Wednesday, but both were released later. This morning, an Iowa teacher is on leave because of his Facebook post about Charlie Kirk's death. High school art teacher Matt Cargill posted to Facebook saying, quote, "Another Nazi down." It says right here, 1 Nazi down, in response to Kirk's assassination.
To be able to post stuff like it's just inappropriate and just not called for. And it's definitely something that shouldn't have been done.
The school district says Cargill violated its social media policy with that post, and the Carolina Panthers, as well as MSNBC and several universities, have had other employees that have been fired as well regarding making posts about Kirk's death. Week 2 of the NFL got started with the Washington Commanders against the Green Bay Packers. The Packers scored first on a Jordan Love touchdown pass, and they didn't look back. Love added another touchdown pass in the 4th quarter, and the Packers went on to win that game 27-18. And a big weekend, of NFL action. It is on the way. Big rivalries on Fox 50 this Sunday. The Giants and the Cowboys face off at 1 p.m., and the Eagles and the Chiefs will be at 4:25. Then over on WRAL, Sunday Night Football, the Falcons versus Vikings. Kickoff for that game is at 8:15. Covering Fayetteville today, Fort Bragg officials will host a groundbreaking ceremony for a new child development center on post. Now, when it's finished, the center will be able to host 338 children. That will cut down on the child care wait list on post and provide support to military families. And that ceremony gets started at 1 p.m. Happening today, the Raleigh Ideal Home Show. It's going to get started at the State Fairgrounds. You can shop for home-related products and services. You can see maybe some displays, maybe get some ideas for that next DIY project, and enjoy presentations from home professionals. It runs through Sunday at the Expo Center and Jim Graham Building at the Fairgrounds. Maybe enjoy a little time outside before you get there, Elizabeth. I know there's a little bit of, is it going to be quiet this weekend weather-wise?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to see partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be close to normal. You know, Chris, I've always wanted one of those really cool waterfall things in my backyard. I may have to go over there this weekend. The big change that we've seen in the last day or so is we've added some rain into the forecast for next week. It looks like we'll have a coastal low that could bring us our best chance of rain in weeks. We had some patchy fog early this morning. You're still dealing with some low cloud cover in some of our western counties down into the Sandhills and up near the Virginia line. Weekend warm up, though. Highs will climb into the low to mid 80s, and we'll end up with partly cloudy skies for the most part. Looking gorgeous. North Hills, beautiful blue sky. Our temperature 62 degrees. We may see some increasing clouds later this afternoon. I still think it'll probably feel partly cloudy. Could be a sprinkle or two that pops up, but not even really worth putting, even 20% in our forecast for today. But again, sprinkle could pop up. Visibility is improving dramatically. We still have below a quarter of a mile visibility up around Roxborough, and we're starting to see some of that low cloud cover dissipating. As we get closer to lunchtime, expect about 25% of the sky to be covered with clouds, but later this afternoon, it's about 35 to 40, and at that point, again, there could be just a quick sprinkle. Here's a look at futurecast, and you can see the clouds this morning. Again, by lunchtime, those all dissipate. And it looks like it's going to be a nice afternoon for us. Temperatures right now are in the low to mid 60s at 62 in Morrisville, 64 in Cary, 65 in Fuquay-Varina, and 65 in Zebulon. Around town this afternoon, highs will be in the low 80s in the Triangle, and Fayetteville, too, checking in at about 83 degrees. 84 is our normal high, and we'll stay there all the way through the weekend or close to it. We'll see 80 degrees for our high on Saturday, and then 84 on Sunday. Once we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, with that better chance for rain, temperatures will begin to drop a little bit. I'll walk you through the timeline for that rain later in the week next week coming up.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And before we go to break, we do have a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers, as well as a check on traffic. We're also getting you more information regarding the person that President Donald Trump says was captured in the shooting death of Charlie Kirk.